for my silly question?
As ever.
So this question is inspired by a recent podcast I listened to.
Oh dear.
In which they had a very funny comedy-esque segment. So I'm pulling from that, mostly in format and less in content.
I see.
So Anna, my question for you, and I would love if you were to ask one of these types of questions after I give my question. If one comes to mind, I would love for you to participate as well.
Okay.
What do you think my favorite flower is?
I know this one.
You know this one.
I know this one.
Okay.
Do you want me to tell you?
Yes. I want you to submit what you believe my favorite flower is. And
A
I will do the
hibiscus.
same for you. The hibiscus.
A hibiscus.
You are correct. It is the hibiscus flower. And now I have to answer the same for you. I think if I was to guess, which I will be, I would guess the daisy is your favorite flower. No.
What do you, so you're guessing what
your favorite
what
flower
my
is.
favorite flower is, but what would you think I would think you were going to say?
Like
Not the real answer, but like what you think I think.
for your answer for me.
What do you think I would answer?
For what my favorite flower
For what?
is.
No. What do you think I think you think? Hold on. Let me think through this. So, my answer
Yes.
is I don't have a favorite flower.
Oh, okay.
But
for the question, you have to give an answer.
that is an answer.
That's not an answer.
Sunflowers always make me smile.
Yeah. So you're going to go sunflowers?
For the sake of this particular
Exercise? Okay.
we'll put sunflower as my favorite. But fully on the record as well is
You don't have a favorite
I
flower?
love flowers.
Just flowers.
But I don't have
so
like
flowers are your favorite flower. For there to be flowers is your favorite. Okay.
Yeah.
I can get on board with that.
Okay. Now I have to think of a question for you.
If you're willing to participate in the activity, yes.
What is your most, how do I phrase this? What is your favorite clothing item?
So I have to answer what I think your favorite clothing item is. And then you have to answer what you think my favorite clothing item is. That's the format.
That's not what we did for flowers.
That is. I said, what do you think my favorite flower is?
Okay, so what do you think my
Your favorite
item of clothing is?
Your favorite item of clothing, I don't think is an item of clothing that you wear. I'm going to put that out there.
What do you do with an item of clothing you don't
I
wear?
think your favorite item of clothing is probably your wedding shoes.
That's a good answer.
That's wrong.
No, I think that's probably a more right answer than the one I had in my head. So, can I say you're right?
I have convinced you otherwise. What were you going to say?
I was going...
That one left sock you really like?
Honestly, black socks are like,
Yeah,
I feel like
that's your
the
go-to.
essential item. But it was going to be a pair of shoes. Probably my black Converse with the daisies on them.
You do really like those Converse as well.
The problem is I don't know if it's I'm getting old or my feet have realized.
That Converse are deeply uncomfortable shoes.
Yeah. Like I've broken into the wide box shoes. So like
Like
Brooks,
the
barefoot shoes, and it's so nice.
Yep.
That I forget I have shoes on.
Once you go barefoot, you can't go back.
And so going back to Converse, the other day I wore those particular black Converse all day. Did not take them off.
I imagine the experience would be the same.
I didn't notice the pain.
Cinderella, when she finally stops wearing a glass slipper. She'd be like, I ain't going back. I don't care if I'm giving up the throne. true love, whatever.
You're
I can't wear
the
that thing
second man to bring up Cinderella today. But no, my feet hurt the next day. All day my feet were aching.
Yeah.
Because of those shoes. So they're still my favorite, but they do not get worn as often. My thought for you, I have two answers.
You have to say what you think my favorite item of clothing is.
So just for the record, this
Yes.
format you're pulling from is only partially accurate to the podcast
It
format.
is only partially accurate, yes. The
'Cause
original format of the podcast was, it would be, what do I think that Anna thinks my favorite flower is? That is how the question was laid out.
Yeah.
But that is just a little too meta
For today's
for
segment.
today, yeah. So
Okay.
I opted not to.
So my thought for your favorite piece of clothing is either your Skunk Works hoodie
Okay. That's
or
one possible.
your JAARS hat.
Okay. So which one?
Were either of those ones you were thinking of?
Which one do you think it is?
I think it's the Skunk Works hoodie.
I think you're right. It's the Skunk Works hoodie.
The JAARS hat gets worn more though.
For those of you who don't know what the Skunk Works is, Lockheed Martin, who makes fantastic fighter jets and just incredible airplanes, the Skunk Works is basically their research and development department who kind of makes everything the first time. I believe it was started and run by a guy named Kelly Johnson, who basically made all the best airplanes. So,
And their logo is a skunk that looks very similar to Flower from Bambi.
yep, it is rumored, I have not done the research myself, but it is rumored that there was, because Skunk Works was based in, I think, Palmdale, California, and so it was rumored that it was a Disney artist who made that logo for them, and probably pulled heavily from the Disney skunk characters. Okay, well, cool. Thank you for participating in my session today. On to the update. This episode, this update, I guess, we're going to talk about an event that happened what seems like a really long time ago now. I mean,
It
we are
does.
almost halfway through the following month, so this would have happened a little more than a month ago, I think, now.
Wow.
Yeah, feels like a long time ago. This event is what the JAARS Aviation Maintenance Training Department affectionately calls Bush Week. It's an event that we were told we would be participating in when we started the program back in last September, and we were told that we would not get to know when it was scheduled, but that it would be sprung on us at some point while we were here. So we knew it was going to happen. We didn't know when it was going to happen. Anna, when I first talked to you about Bush Week, this would have been quite a while ago. Mm-hmm. If you can remember, what were your thoughts when I was like, hey, they're going to have me do something for a offsite camping, whatever?
My first two thoughts were, wow, this sounds like everything you love. Mm-hmm. Like an event that was made for the Phillips of the world.
Yeah.
Because you get to be in the woods for a week with a plane
And
a project and your friends.
Yeah.
And yeah, kind of rough it a little bit.
Yeah.
So that part I was excited for you about. The other part was, wow, a week of no contact. Mm-hmm. Haven't had that since not even your Africa trip before we started dating.
Yep.
So going on 10 years of almost constant contact to a week of not.
Yeah, because they
Felt very
had
overwhelming.
said they would not let us bring our cell phones or any communication devices to simulate being out in the middle of nowhere, which is somewhat realistic.
Yeah. So
and
those
good
were
exercise for families to say, hey, something could pop up at any minute, and you just have to not talk for a bit.
Yeah. At that point, too, because we were told this at the beginning of the program, so we did not have, our community was still pretty young.
Yeah.
And, I was not excited about the fact that I would have to, I don't know, rely on people I had just met.
Yeah.
Which, by the grace of God, I didn't have to do. So, by the time Bush Week actually rolled around, they were like family already,
Yeah.
and so we felt pretty comfortable asking for help and offering help and knowing what people would need when among the families here. Still, there was a good bit of, I don't know if dread is the right word, but maybe
not
dread.
happy anticipation.
Yeah, happy for you, not happy for me.
Yeah.
Anticipating a lot of enjoyment for you and not a whole lot for me. That didn't change, that perspective didn't change up until you got called in to do it. So that feeling was consistent.
So they did allow us to bring our phones this time around, so long as we pulled the SIM cards out, so that we couldn't use it to contact, but we could still use the phones to take video. That was kind of the main purpose. We could take photos and videos. I did not take many photos or videos, but I did take audio. So audio from Bush Week is going to be interspersed throughout this episode. So I am here with my coworkers. We've just been given the instructions that Bush Week is happening. How are you guys feeling?
I wish I wore different shoes.
Me too. I wish I had pants in my pockets.
Everyone's wishing they had different shoes right now. I mean, thankfully we will be back tonight, so we'll have an opportunity to get our long-term shoes before we're out there for the next week. So this is going to be an adventure. I'll keep you guys updated as we go. We were scheduled for a class on Tuesday. No, it should have been Wednesday. We were scheduled for a class. The Monday before Bush Week was a holiday. The Tuesday, they had this big annual kind of review meeting that all the apprentices and trainees had to be at. So they weren't able to get that full week out of it. So they scheduled it on Wednesday, us for a class that made most of us, of the trainees, pretty suspicious, because we were like, the class in particular is not one that people take generally until they are back from their first term. There was one group that had been given it early because they anticipated they were going to need the class when they went on their first term because of some shifting that was happening at the base they were going to. So we were pretty suspicious about that class. We also may or may not have had access to a calendar of every event that JAARS Aviation does, and when all the planes are available or not, and we may or may not have deduced that there were only 2 windows of time that Bush Week could reasonably happen.
You schemers.
We are schemers. So we were...
This was, when you say we, it's not a royal we. Like, you and the other guys were all on high alert for this.
Yes, we were.
So, you were
so
collaborating
much to the point that
your
we
info.
were like, we should probably shop for stuff this weekend because it's going to happen. So, like, we had done pre-shopping just before Bush Week started. So they weren't able to get a real strong surprise. So we go in for the class, we spend maybe an hour and a half in the class, and then one of our instructors, Mark, who you'll hear on some of the audio, he bops in the door with a bunch of makeup, like he was just in an accident, like blood makeup and torn up jeans. He went full simulation for us. So he stumbles in, says, "I've crashed," and basically the scenario begins. So at that point, we were brought over to the hangar, told we were going to go and inspect the downed aircraft, given like an hour or two to go and look over the aircraft, take whatever measurements, take whatever pictures we needed for the purpose of an accident report. Because one of the things they're trying to teach us is how to gather the correct information in case an accident ever happens, so that the local authorities and so that JAARS safety staff can do a thorough accident report to figure out what happened, what went wrong, and that being for the purpose of trying to minimize or mitigate those things happening again to people. So, very good thing. So we were sent out with paper, pads, pen. Because of how fast things like these are sprung on you, it's tough to establish, like we were not told this person is leading the project right now. We didn't have an established leader, which at most locations they have protocol already in place so that if something happens, these people fill these roles immediately. We did not have that luxury. The point of Bush Week is they're going to put you in a really weird scenario where you have to just make decisions, and then hopefully the majority of your learning happens in the debriefing. So we went in and we did that, and you may hear some audio of that now. All right, so we're in phase 1 of our adventure, which is we're going to get sent out to look over and investigate the quote-unquote accident of an aircraft. You hear the helicopter in the background, probably, I'm assuming, since I'm not using my nice mics. How are you guys feeling seeing the helicopter about to take off? I'm very excited for a week of camping with you guys and getting to work on stuff at the same time. I think it's going to be fun.
I'm not particularly nervous, but more so just, I don't know, I'm just ready to kind of get this going.
Yeah,
like I'm waiting.
We've been waiting for literally
going.
a year. We were told a year ago this will happen at any time, and we've been waiting for a whole year.
Up and like the expectation, and then like the meetings prior, like this is what you should be thinking about bringing, and scenarios we're like kind of playing out, like what would you do in this situation, and now it's like happening. At this point, I'm just ready to like get out there and get it fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm very excited.
Yeah, just hearing the helicopter spool up and is awesome, right? So
I mean, you just get excited about helicopters anyways.
correct, right? So we get to ride in the helicopter. We get to apply what we've been learning over the last year, and just in general, like a life experience. It's fun, you know. This is fun because 100% it's a training environment, so we don't have to worry about casualties.
Yeah, I guess just seeing this and realizing we get to, you know, go out there and train and one day do this in the field, you know, it's like, it is a pretty wild thought. I think it's just kind of now sinking in a little bit.
I agree with that. It is pretty... One, it's surreal because, like, oh, I might have to do this for real one day in a real accident. Let's learn as much as we can this first time around. Let's make the mistakes well and learn from them so that
100%.
whenever we have to do this for real, we can do it much more efficiently and professionally. So after the inspection investigation, we were sent back to the hangar. And we were told that we would get 24 hours. Well, a little more than 24 hours, because this would have been Wednesday afternoon leading into evening. And we told we were going to be meeting up early Friday morning to go out to actually start the recovery process. So we were given sort of 24 hours to plan how we were going to do the scenario given to us. And the scenario given to us was very different than previous Bush Weeks. All right, so we were just given our scenario for the next.
Talk now?
Well, I'm just talking first. So I'm here walking our supposed trail that we have to basically disassemble this aircraft, carry it down this trail, and reassemble it at another location. So I'm here with Mark, who's one of my instructors. Mark, I feel like this scenario is a little bit different than ones you guys have dreamt up in previous years. Is that right?
This is my first.
This is your first year running it.
I've never really been out there either.
But you've been around for multiple of them, yeah?
Right, yeah.
Have they ever had you disassemble an aircraft, move the aircraft, and reassemble?
No.
Okay. So we've got something new on our hands here.
Yep. Something new and exciting.
Very new, very exciting. I'm so excited. So how do you feel like we did on our assessing the accident scenario?
You were very thorough.
Yeah, I thought we did all right. All right, yep. So we're walking the mile trail where we'll have some ravine we have to cross with this thing. And we'll have 24-ish hours, maybe a little more, to get all of our equipment together, build any apparatuses we want to build, and then we start camping.
Great.
So we'll have to hike whatever we build in the path that we're walking now. So it's going to be an adventure. And Mark, you're going to stay overnight with us this whole time, right?
Oh, no.
How far do you live from here, Mark?
Over there, about
Yeah, you're just right through the
2
woods.
blocks away.
Yeah, so Mark's going to go home and sleep and eat a hot meal every night. And shower every night.
Every night.
All right, I hope you enjoy yourself, Mark, as much as we'll be enjoying ourselves here. So I think that was pretty intimidating for all of us, but also we've worked together for a year. So once we had that 24 hours to plan, we were able to sit down and together identify, like, all right, here are the 6 key tasks that have to happen either now or during the week. So those tasks were kind of broken down into somebody planning the tools and steps for disassembling the aircraft and reassembling the aircraft. So making sure we have the proper pages from the manuals needed to reference how things go back together, how tightly certain bolts get torqued, and just have a mental plan for the steps to get that done. One person was tackling the how we cross the river, because it wasn't just like a shallow river that you could carry stuff across. It was...
Bit of a ravine with some water in the
Yeah, it was
bottom.
like 10 feet deep, very sharp edges. I mean, 90
Very
degree,
rocky,
90 degree
yeah.
edges. The water itself was probably... It was shallow enough to walk across in some spots. I mean, ankle deep in some spots, and probably waist deep in other spots. So it really depended on where you picked. And 15 or 20 feet across. I mean, it is like you've taken your child's shovel on wet sand and just scooped out a perfect square for the water to run through. So that was a legit challenge. Somebody was assigned to build a cart
2 somebodies.
or something. One person was assigned the leadership on it.
Got it, okay.
To design a cart that all of our camping gear could get put on while we pulled everything out to where we needed to fix the wreck. And that could be used to put the aircraft and the wings and the engine on in order to make it easier for us to push it through the woods. We had somebody assigned to plan the camp site and all the amenities needed for camping, making sure enough sleeping bags were there, enough tents were there. Somebody assigned to plan food, and somebody assigned to plan the sheet metal damage that did happen on the aircraft, because the side was pretty banged in with an axe. So we did have to have somebody assigned.
With tree branches.
Yeah, shoved into it as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So those were kind of our 6 categories. And somebody assigned a double task of packing all the common tools and making sure all that stuff was ready to go. So we, I think, were really effective in that 24 hours, and all the things that needed to get planned got planned, the things that needed to get built got built, and the stuff that needed to be packed all got packed. I mean, minor details on a couple of the sides. I was in charge of planning the campsite and packing all the minor tools, or like the common tools. I didn't pack enough sets of the common tools. I didn't factor in how many hands we would have on the projects at a given time. So there were some very common tools that we only had 1 set of. So those kind of became a pinch point at some points for usage. But besides that, we pretty much had it all. So early Friday morning, we got together, made sure we had everything ready to go. We got picked up, we got driven out to a trailhead a couple miles from our crash site. Hiked the trail, hiked all of our gear in, set up camp, and just started tearing the aircraft apart. And it is...
clothes.
All right. So, as this is technically day 3, I guess. So day 1,
Day 1 of Bush Week.
we were told Bush Week is happening. Day 2, we gathered all of our supplies and prepped everything. And now we are currently pushing, what are we calling this, a rickshaw? We're pushing a hand cart with all of our things on it through a forest trail to our final camping destination. We are packing in all of our stuff for however long it takes to finish this project. And we are currently walking the path that we're going to have to carry an airplane through. I'm here with Zach. Zach, do you consent to be on my podcast?
I can be on your podcast.
Yeah.
Just go to JAARS.org/give and then go to the Darkmans.
Shameless plug, shameless plug.
That's right.
Zach and his wife are,
We'll
you guys are about to
appreciate-
head out to PNG,
We'll
right?
appreciate like 50 new partners at $5 a piece. That'd be great. No, just kidding. Yeah, I'm here as a trainer, facilitator, observer.
Yes, so Zach, you've been through all of this before, yeah?
I have, mine looked a lot different, but it was still a similar
Yes, his
Team-
Bush Week
team
scenario was
building.
different, but
Bush Week experience.
he's been through the same JAARS maintenance training program that I'm
I have.
currently in.
I was,
So
despite
I've-
my best efforts,
I've been looking to Zach in a lot of ways for guidance on how I should navigate
Aw,
my time here at
that's
JAARS.
sweet. That's sweet. Yeah.
Zach, are you going to enjoy sleeping in your own bed tonight?
Oh, dude, heck yeah.
All right, that's good. Are you going to bring me coffee in the morning? Probably not.
That's a stretch.
Okay,
Yeah,
understood. There are limits to the relationship
There's-
for the next few weeks.
yeah, I would like to say I'm your all's friend, but for this exercise, I can't be as friendly.
That's fair. You're our facilitator
I
for
am
the week.
I am the.
All right, well, we're glad to have you along for this hike, Zach.
No worries.
All right, thankfully we've gotten through the hardest parts and crossed a river with all of our equipment. And yeah, we're probably a quarter mile from camp. So, all right, we'll give you guys a new update soon. Bush Week has become somewhat infamous at JAARS. Not infamous, that's probably the wrong word. Just famous, well known, everyone knows about it. There's all these stories about past Bush Weeks. So I think there's sort of this mythology about Bush Week that's developed beyond what the facilitators of Bush Week want it to be or have planned it to be. So there's all this expectation of like, oh, they're going to send random people out to us to act like locals that we'll have to deal with. So in the back of our minds, we're always wondering, where are the locals? Who's the locals that we're dealing with? Like, we've had a year to stew on Bush Week's coming. So, I mean, anytime you've got a year to anticipate something, expectations build of what it's going to be that nobody's expressed to you directly. You haven't expressed to anyone directly. You have, there's so many factors that go into an event like this. In a real world scenario, you have nobody on the outside giving you any input. It's you and your team out nowhere, figuring it out together, making it happen together, moving totally together, and you guys are your only other inputs.
But this is a training situation.
But this is a training situation with facilitators. Those facilitators have their own expectations of how fast things should go, what order we should do things in. They've envisioned this thing previously as to best ways that the aircraft should be moved, like how we should operate as a team in this kind of scenario. And some of the facilitators have been in similar-ish scenarios where they had to go to a remote location and fix a plane. Some of them did it with a small team, some of them did it with no team. So you have all these expectations and perspectives that come together into something that I think is very complicated to run, I'll say smoothly. And I think part of the facilitators' hopes were that things wouldn't go super smoothly. I think partially so they could evaluate us to see how do you guys do in stressful and weird situations.
For the purpose of
for the purpose of giving us
shoring
feedback.
You up. Yes.
Yeah. But I think there's also ways that it gets complicated, and no matter how good of a teacher or facilitator you are, things can run away from you pretty quickly, especially if there's all these competing expectations for how things should go. Oh, it is a beautiful morning. It is 9 o'clock in the morning. We have staged the aircraft for the next operation we're going to do. We've all finished breakfast, and we're doing a little bit of camp tidy up. I feel like we did a tremendous amount of work yesterday. Yesterday we hit the trail at, Paige, what time did we hit the trail? At 6? 6:30. About 6:30. We lugged all of our camp stuff here. We then pumped up the tires of the aircraft, rolled it out of the woods into the field. By the end of the day, we had the entire tail, the vertical stabilizer, the horizontal stabilizer, the rudder, the elevators, the flaps, the ailerons, and both wings disconnected and removed from the aircraft. We also had constructed the tripod that we're going to be using to hoist the engine, and a tail stabilizing stand that the tail is going to rest on. So I feel like we killed it yesterday. Elijah, how are you feeling today?
Tired. I'm drinking coffee out of a Happy Harvest diced tomatoes can, but I am a very happy person right now. I got good sleep last night, and I think we got a good game plan.
Yeah, we almost killed you yesterday, I feel like.
Yeah, well, I wasn't feeling that good. I'm actually feeling much better today. I had a sore throat and stuffed up nose. The stuffed up nose is gone, the sore throat's sort of gone. Fresh food in my belly. Honestly, I'm feeling very ready to get this day going. So, yeah, it's going to be a good day. And the weather feels nice, too. So.
The weather is nice. It was a little hot last night, getting to sleep.
A little bit, but then it got cool all of a sudden. Like, I woke up, one thing, I'm going to bed, sweating, and then I wake up in the middle of the night, I'm cold, I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I bundled up a little bit more, and then I slept so good after that, so.
Yeah, I was in bare minimum sleeping on top of my sleeping bag and mat to begin with.
Yeah.
Actually, I balled up my sleeping bag to be my pillow, and I was just laying on my mat until it was probably midnight. Then it was cold enough that I took away my pillow and used the sleeping bag just as a blanket.
I was going to say, because when I first started sleeping, the pillow was actually making it worse. It was like I was sweating so much because of the pillow.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. I was just like, this sucks. And then, next thing I know, it's cold because I had slept through all the heat, thankfully.
Yeah.
Feeling much better.
Paige, how are you feeling today?
Doing good. I'm so excited. We're gonna get this thing up and get the engine off, get the landing gear off, and we'll get it ready to cart out. I bet you we'll make it to the ravine today.
Yeah, we're going to put the fuselage on the cart that we used to bring everything in. And I think Cooper was the one who designed it, and Cody helped him build it. And it's way better than I was thinking we would end up with. Yeah, it was able to carry probably 150 pounds of stuff.
Oh, more.
Easily.
Yeah.
To camp. And I think it'll do fine carrying the engine in one trip, the fuselage in another trip, and the wings in a third trip. So
Biggest challenges today is probably going to be getting the landing gear off, the engine off. We need to set up our ravine crossing. Don't know what that's going to look like. That's on David.
yeah, what does our ravine look like?
Our ravine is 26 feet across and about, 6 feet down?
At least 6 feet. Yeah, probably 8 feet.
Yeah. And we're going to fly
And it's
this
pretty
thing across.
sheer drop, isn't it?
It's a sheer drop.
It's a sheer drop. Yep.
And then we have...
Yeah, so we're basically going to set up a zip line for an airplane, and we're going to try to zip line the pieces across.
Yeah.
So
We're gonna
that
have
will
to
be one
carry
of the
all
big
our
projects
pieces
for
out.
today.
And then we're going to have to get some trees cut down if we want to get the pieces actually out.
Yeah, because the fuselage is longer than the cart that we got in, so there's a couple trees we're going to have to cut down in order to wheel it out. But yeah, it's going to be an adventure.
Yeah.
I'm excited for lunch and dinner after a hard day's work. So we had 2 days of work where we completely disassembled the aircraft, built our basically zip line across the ravine. So when I say completely disassembled, I mean both of the wings are off.
Landing gears off.
All the landing gear is off, the engine is off, and all of they call them the tail feathers. So all the controls on the back side of the aircraft are off as well. So this thing looks like a weird elongated raindrop is all that the fuselage looked like at the end. And everything else was laying on the ground. We had hiked almost all of the small, easy to carry with 1 or 2 people pieces all the way to the end of the trail. So all we had left was the fuselage, the engine, and the wings that were left to get across, which was going to be a big job. Sunday, we got, I think, the wings across, and we got the fuselage down to the river, but not the engine. All right, it's the end of day 3 of being in the woods, and our instructor Dave had a pleasant surprise. He brought all of our families out, so I'm now sitting here with Anna and Malachi.
Hello.
Yeah, how have the few days been for you guys?
You know, it's been kind of crazy, but it feels like it's only been maybe I guess it's only been 2 days. It's that
Yeah, like
weird
2.5 days.
combination of there's been so much going on
Yeah.
out of the ordinary that it feels like multiple days, but also just like
Yeah.
every day feels like a week. But then also I feel like there's only been one night apart, even though you've been gone for close to 3 days now. So I don't know. It's been good. Malachi's been a trooper.
Yep.
Yeah. Eating lots of good food.
Oh yeah, I think he's
And
grown. I think
honestly,
he's taller than the last time I saw him 2.5 days ago.
He's been sleeping a lot, which has been a pleasant thing too.
Yeah.
But community-wise, everybody's been looking out for
Yep.
those of us without husbands, like,
Yeah.
and yeah, we've had breakfast made for us and dinner made for us, and we've been supporting each other, like hanging out, checking in with each other, making sure everybody has what they need, running to the store for each other. So it's kind of been fun to see the camaraderie between everybody back at home.
Yep.
And then also seeing that out here has been very fun too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Has been good.
Stressful situations, whether planned or not, really can bring out
People together. Oh, for sure.
Yeah, the best in community. So Malachi was very excited to see his daddy, though.
Yep. What did you think of the fuselage setup?
I can't believe you had to drag that for a third of a mile and still have to take it through a footpath.
Yeah.
That's wild. That's a full airplane.
That is going to be a big amount of work.
I mean, y'all are more like porters than...
Yeah.
Or like, what are the people and the Nepalese people that help people hike Mount Everest?
Sherpas?
Yeah, y'all are doing that kind of thing rather than the mechanic-y thing.
Yeah.
But I guess you're still transporting everything so that it doesn't break anymore than it's already broken. Yeah. So it's impressive, and you guys seem tired, but also not completely
broken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're also seeing you at a morale high with all of the wives and kiddos coming out.
Yeah.
So.
For sure. Yeah, this has been nice. We were a little bummed out and frustrated at the beginning of the day when we were told something was happening at 3, and we needed to make sure, certain works and preparations were all made by then. It's like, come on, man, you're halting our progress. We want to get this done, but this is a good surprise.
Very go-gettery.
Yeah,
but
this is a good surprise.
Yep. It's been fun. We've been so excited. He let us know yesterday.
Okay.
Afternoon. And rumor had been flying since since Friday, maybe. So we've been looking forward to this for sure. I was super happy to pack up everything and drive out here. I was picturing like in Survivor, the family day.
Yes,
I was
so they sneak up
that.
behind.
It's like, is Philip gonna cry? No, it's only been 2 days.
Yeah.
If this had been 20 days, would you have cried?
we showed up.
Quite possibly. Or whatever, 63 days like the first season of Alone was or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I think you would have, if you were alone for 62 days, you'd cry just to see another human being.
Yes, I would. Absolutely.
But
Yep.
you did, yeah, I don't think you cry when you're exceptionally happy because you didn't cry at our wedding, so.
I was overjoyed at our wedding. Yeah, you're right. So I guess that's true. I don't cry when I'm overjoyed and incredibly excited. Because I was overjoyed and incredibly excited. Just want to really get that out there. That's for the record. That's my official statement. Yeah, I think we're about to get called back in and told to split again. But
Yeah, well,
I love you. I'll work hard to get home to you.
can't wait to see you again.
Yeah. Love you, buddy.
Can
Yeah.
I share what I've been doing?
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
how the women are back home. Yeah, we definitely had been anticipating this too. Like all
Yeah.
the wives, every time we were together, we were talking about Bush Week. How are we going to do XYZ and reassuring one another like we're here for each other. No one's going to be left alone. And especially for the moms with littles, like creating thinking through like how can we best support each other. So once it was go time, we definitely felt the same, like okay, it's go time. And so many people around us were aware, like, oh, your husbands are gone, like here, I'm gonna make dinner for all of you ladies one night, and you know, if you need us to run to the grocery store or watch your kid, there were so many community assistance offers that were really wonderful. What I have been dreading, honestly, the most was like the bedtime, like doing the bedtime routine and going to sleep alone in an empty house, because I knew I could fill up the days with stuff. And since it's not like I can call you or anything, it's what are you gonna do? And honestly, we would even check in with each other after we left and it was bedtime. It's like, hey, are you going to bed? Like, you need to be going to sleep right now. You know, just lighthearted stuff. But we had found out on Saturday, I think, that Dave had us in mind as well, those left behind, as much as, maybe not as much as you guys, but we were definitely factored in to the logistics of it. And so I felt very seen and looked after by the facilitators. I think they did a great job of that, and they told us, like, hey, we're gonna surprise the guys and bring you all out after church on Sunday, pick up some snacks for them, and and so that was like something we all had to look forward to. But other than that, everything, like, other than like the nights alone, things have been going pretty smoothly. I was also holding out because I knew you and some of the others were.
Those of us who are in EMT school
we're going to be coming back just to shower and leave. Like, we wouldn't get to hang out. But I was like, if there are any pressing questions, like, where in the world is this item? For those of you who don't know, Philip is the organizer of this house. And a lot of times I can't find things because he's put it away and I didn't pay attention. So I was worried about things like that. I'm like, so I knew I'd have Tuesday to ask you. But honestly, we've been having a lot of fun. Because we had to be creative in filling the days. The women all we hung out constantly. It was a bit of a flip from what I had been expecting. When we first heard about Bush Week, we're just going to be twiddling away the hours until Dad comes home, you know. So anyway, like life sort of went on as normal,
Yeah.
but at the same time it was extra because everyone was so attentive to one another.
Yeah.
And that was really neat.
That is good.
Yeah. And I'm guessing that happens in an actual scenario where this
Yeah.
happens.
People band together on
People
both
band
sides.
together. Yeah.
Yep.
So anyway, that's what I was doing.
Yeah, and I think a lot of us had in mind like 10 days would be great. Like that was like, oh, we'd be doing good if it was 10 days. So
Yeah. So like doing good as in
like we would
Schedule.
feel things were well accomplished. Like
in 10 days. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So we also had that mindset,
Yeah.
which made 3 days in kind of
Yeah.
like, oh man,
Yeah.
this.
Because normally
Feels-
this event does not go any longer than a week. 5-6 days if things get stretched out. It's not historically been a super long project.
Yeah. So anyway, we enjoyed it. I think the worst part was driving away and Malachi
Yeah.
just crying for you.
Aw.
But, we all got together for dinner
Yep.
afterwards, I think. I don't even remember
Yeah.
what it was. But, yeah, we had a pancake dinner.
Nice.
Or I had some church friends
Yeah.
come over for a pancake dinner. And that was another.
Yeah.
But that day was really great.
Yeah.
It was a really great day, and I felt a lot of God hugs
Yeah.
from that. But it was, yeah. I don't know if I would have put it there. I don't know if I would have wanted that if I'd known the whole of the scenario,
Yeah.
or if just push through.
Mhm.
And like when you're going on a run
Yeah.
and you really want to walk.
Yeah. As soon as you start
As soon
walking.
as you start walking, it's really hard to run again.
Yeah.
It felt a little bit like that, knowing like I'm not going to see him again for, well, in my head it was 2 days. I
Yeah.
get to see you for a minute while
Yeah.
you changed clothes to go
Yeah.
to class on Tuesday. But
Yep.
but it was also fun that it was everybody all together.
Yeah.
I'm a big
That was fun.
everybody all together
Yeah.
fan. So yeah. How was the experience for you? For y'all with all the families coming out?
It was a mixed experience for the whole group because we had 4 married people and 2 single people. So it was awkward for the single people who there's no family nearby, so nobody's showing up to hang out with them. So they kind of felt third wheelish a little bit. 2 of us married, and I am going to admit I'm one of these. It was tough because earlier on Sunday, we were told by our facilitators that we were going a lot slower than they had anticipated. And I think this is just kind of where it gets into that really weird. It's very difficult to balance. You're a facilitator and you have an idea of where a thing should go. How long do you let it go before you step in to make your correction? And so, they were feeling, wow, this is going a lot slower than we thought, and it's going a lot slower than historical Bush Week scenarios because those were much smaller tasks. While you had, on the other hand, a lot of us feeling like, no, this is going really well. Like, we feel really good about the progress we're making. So to be told earlier on a day that you can't work, hey, you're going really slow, we need you to pick up the pace. Also, you can't work half this day. Oh, here are your families. I was not a fan of that sequence of events, and it made you guys being around tough for me to break out of that project mode that I get in and just socialize and focus on being present with you guys and engaging with you, because my mind is on, oh, I'm failing, maybe, some way. I'm falling short, and I'm not allowed to do anything about it right now. But that's all where my mind is, because that's my whole reality right now, is I'm living out in this field, working on an airplane, and trying to get these hard tasks accomplished with, minimal infrastructure and only the sets of tools and things that we brought. So that was tough. And it's really tough to make how realistic do you try to make a scenario? And I have a hard time just in life when stuff feels like it's half. What's a good way to put this? Like it's only half scenario. Like in my mind, I'm like, no, I want to be all in of this is full blown scenario, or
This is like,
we're
we're
just
in
sit
a
in a room
role.
and talk about it. Like why do the weird? I'm not really sure how to be engaging with this event. So that Sunday, I went to bed feeling pretty weird and frustrated, and yeah, that was a tough one.
In your tiny tent.
In my tiny
with
tent that
the
I
two
shared.
tallest
Yes.
men
Yep.
in the group.
Yeah, it was originally like there was going to be the 3 short people sharing a 3-person tent, and the 2 tall people sharing a 2-person tent. And then one of the, I say short, not freakishly tall people decided to sleep in a hammock. So there were 2 normal-sized human beings in a 3-person tent, and 2 extra tall human beings in a 2-person tent. So it wasn't the best way to lay it out, but whatever.
You guys stayed cozy.
Yeah, it was fine. So then Sunday rolled around, and I have 0 recordings. Sorry, Monday. Monday rolled around, and I don't have any recordings after Monday late morning because I think a number of people were feeling weird on Monday after the you need to be moving faster speech. And so the communication that we had been employing beforehand, which took extra time to do to make sure everyone's on the same page, kind of got abandoned, and we just started pushing stuff. Push it down the trail, push it down the trail, push it down the trail, and eventually we got to the end of the trail and we accidentally pushed the plane onto one of our team members, and it fractured his ankle. And every day a new leader was randomly chosen from the group. So the guy who was leading that day, it just tore him up. And it like a lot of us were feeling pretty bummed out after that. We were able to get him into a vehicle and get him to a clinic pretty rapidly. There was nothing major. A fractured ankle is major, but it was fracture, not needing surgery. So best the situation could have been, because it could have been a lot worse the way things rolled out. So in that moment, I think, so there's in the instruction world, I had to take this class when I was studying for my flight instructor license, and it's called The Fundamentals of Instruction. Fascinating class. Probably the favorite one I've done in anything aviation thus far, because it's all about the psychology of how people learn, what things need to be present in their life for them to be most receptive to learning, what kind of methods of teaching are generally most effective. And there's this one thing in there, it's called the laws of learning. And it's like, you have the law of repetition. It's just, these are the categories of things that make people learn the best, as in whatever information they have to retain gets solidified if you use one of these methods. So one of the methods is repetition. If you repeat a thing very often, it gets solidified. There's primacy. So the first thing you learn about something is going to stick with you a lot stronger than if somebody then retries to teach you another way. And there's this one, it's called the law of intensity. The more intense a situation is, the harder whatever you learn in those moments is going to get stuck in your head. And I think a lot of us learned something on Monday afternoon, late morning. And we're not going to forget it, and it's all different. I think pretty much everyone walked away with something different from that event. Because, the people who were the instructors who were there, the facilitators who were there, were there to keep us from doing stupid stuff. They saw something stupid, they were supposed to call out. We apparently did something stupid faster than they could call out for. So I think they learned something and had stuff solidified in them that I don't know what those things are. But just in those intense situations, you're going to pick up something. And it's really hard to reform that perspective or reshape that idea later because of how intense the situation was that solidified the information. So I think that has turned what people walked away from Bush Week with into something that's really hard to nail down on paper because everyone probably walked away with something a little different. And whatever
That's
that
so
thing was
interesting.
is going to stick with them. So it was Monday that we were, soon after that event, we were told, okay, we are not pushing this scenario all the way through to its end. We're getting all the pieces to the end of the trail so that they can basically be trailered back to the hangar, and you guys will rebuild stuff at the hangar at a later date. So Monday, we finished moving almost everything, and Tuesday we moved the engine. And then that was it. That was everything across. We tore down the zipline bridge we made. We tore down camp. We tore down everything. And there was a definite shift in morale all around the rest of Monday and Tuesday. I mean, huge shift in morale for, I think, the facilitators, too. One of the facilitators was pretty much not present the rest of the event. And I think there's a number of reasons for that. One, they were kind of the chief person to figure out whatever needed to happen with the ankle. So they were primary care for that. But it got kind of weird after that moment. And I decided as soon as that event happened, I'm like, I'm not recording anything else because I don't think any of us were at our best. And I think after a week of hiking and camping in the woods and doing something hard, nobody's going to be at their best emotionally or mentally. But that really put a lot of us not at our best. I broke down pretty hard when we stopped for lunch on Monday soon after the accident. And I think it was a scenario that shot for the moon and touched the upper atmosphere kind of deal. Because what the challenge that we were given to do, the only thing that we didn't do was rebuild the aircraft. And that takes 1.5 to maybe 2 times longer than it does to disassemble the aircraft. So it would have probably taken us 4 days to put it all back together and run it, which would have put our grand total time at, so we were out there for 5 days.
Yeah.
So 9 or 10 days.
9 or 10 days.
Is what I'm thinking we would have done it in. So it's tough for me to talk about Bush Week even on here because I still feel so much regarding that week that happened 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago. So many mixed things. I mean, there are some good memories that came from it, some like solid camaraderie that came from it. But I am still probably overanalyzing a lot of things. And
As you do.
still trying to come to conclusions that I think are reasonable. And some of the conclusions that I'm coming to about how things went down, how the whole thing was set up, what was the purpose of the event. I'm asking, I feel like, a lot of the big questions in my mind, and there are some that the reasonable answers I feel like I'm coming to I really don't like. And there are some that I think very strongly about, and I don't think it's a reasonable way, like a reasonable opinion to have. So it's like it has been a lot emotionally to try to cipher through and figure out what happened, why did it happen, what do I need to be taking away from this event, what do I need to be learning for future upcoming scenarios, and
Yeah. Are you glad that you did it?
I was like, everyone who comes through this program has to do a Bush Week. There is no other group of people that I've probably ever worked with who I would more have wanted to do this event with. So I'm incredibly grateful for the people that were on the team who went out to do this. Because, I mean, what what we did was a significant task, and like nobody in our organization has done that task before. We have gotten to do a thing that nobody else in our facility or in the aviation staff here can say they have done. So that is pretty cool to have that as like a badge of, yes, we disassembled an aircrane and zip-lined it across a ravine. And it worked. Everything worked the first time. The cart that we built carried everything. 600 pounds of fuselage on a uneven footpath. So like, it feels very cool to have accomplished those things, to have done it as a team and to know each other that well, that we'll trust each other with all those situations. I would give it all back if that other member of our team didn't get hurt. If I could make that trade, I'd make that trade super fast. Additionally, like, I didn't think about it until probably like a week and a half or 2 weeks later, and we never really debriefed it as a team, but what does that kind of injury in a real life scenario do to a team? Not just morale, but also logistically, you know?
If this had been an actual situation
if we were actually
in the
middle of
jungle.
nowhere, dude broke his ankle and fractured his ankle. He is out. He can't move. Like, he can't walk down the trails. He can't locomote on his own. He could sit in a chair and be the cook, but you have a member of the team who is just sitting. Mm-hmm. At this point, not at a location that the rest of us are always at. So you have essentially an unknown injury. It was not obvious. Like, it was obvious he had pain in his ankle, he couldn't walk on it. But it was not obvious something is broken there. There wasn't a ton of swelling, there wasn't a ton of bruising. We also didn't know maybe what other injuries had happened to him that, because of shock, he didn't feel yet, or weren't going to show up until later. So you have a big unknown where it's like, can you leave someone sitting there with unknown levels of injuries alone in the, quote, jungle? So in my mind, it's like, reasonably, you've lost now 2 workers. They can be doing some small tasks, but you've largely lost 2 of the 6 hands you had. And it took all 6 hands to pull the wings off. Mm-hmm. So it's like, ooh, that is a new challenge all its own of added difficulty. Things you plan to have there are not there. You know, we would have had the opportunity when we had to bring all the aircraft parts to a road, and we were going to have a, local hired driver drive all the parts on a trailer to the runway where we could rebuild it. It's like, okay, so that local driver could reasonably get an injured person back somewhere safety. Mm-hmm. How well do you know this local driver? Is it someone from the mission that was sent out? If so, great. You put them in the car, this person with the local that you know. They can get all the way back. You have now 5 still good hands. It's a crude way of thinking about it, but more food and resources. Less hands trying to use limited tools. Like, that could help. If it's just a random local hired driver, you probably don't want to trust an unknown injured teammate to
An
unknown individual, because they
unvetted
can't get
individual.
around. If something happens, they can't even run away. Mm-hmm. So that's 2 people gone, and the 4 of you have to put everything back together. Like, it is a huge logistical nightmare if you lose one of those personnel. That's one of the things that I think has gotten really solidified into me. Airplanes you can rebuild, go slow, make sure everyone is safe. Mm-hmm. Make sure everyone is, and not just like safe for no reason, but safe to continue doing the job that's at hand,
Mm-hmm. As a prospective overseas missionary, do you feel that you've pulled good know-how from this simulation that you might be able to employ in different situations in an overseas context?
That's an interesting question, because there's not really any task that we were sent to do that I was necessarily unfamiliar with. I've done camping a bunch. I kind of know how to camp.
You didn't know how to pluck a chicken.
I did not know how to pluck a chicken. You're absolutely right. That was a huge benefit, knowing how to process an animal. Actually, super important. Could very well come in handy later.
You're not being sarcastic in this moment.
I am not being sarcastic.
I might have to learn how to do that, and I don't want to.
I don't know how to set up a zip line the way we had it. But I didn't really learn how to do that either. The way we broke it down is we figured out what are the main tasks that have to be accomplished, who has expertise in that area. We had a guy who has a ton of experience doing ropes courses and zip lines and setting them up, and it was like, okay, you're the obvious choice, get us across that ravine. Yeah.
You could argue, though, that exercise in and of itself, evaluating the skills of your team, that's going to be applicable in every situation.
Yes. Yeah.
Overseas, more so probably, because you'll have probably a greater diversity of skills, interests, backgrounds, talents than you might find. I don't know. Here is pretty diverse. But
I would guess
being able to apply what you were given and the members of the team you have to the problem at hand, I think that would be an invaluable skill to have had practice in.
Yeah.
So.
That's true. Yeah, as far as like, there were no necessarily physical skills that I feel like were gained from this. A lot of it was how to know your team, how to like pick your team, build your team, trust your team type thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the day that broke down was Monday morning. Those things, we were not working well as a team. We were not communicating. We were not listening to each other. And that's when something went wrong. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, back at home, I was grateful for the exercise of operating as a single parent for a little while.
Yeah.
I mean, as we were in the ideal situation too, because I was never alone. All of our neighbors were either in the same situation or were aware of the situation. But it definitely gave me confidence to be able to operate without you for a little while. So I was appreciative of the time, knowing that you were a phone call away. I'd have to call two people, but like it wasn't it wasn't quite realistic in that if we were overseas and this was happening, you would not be accessible. So this was a good trial run for me that I had the security net of you being a quick pickup away. And that's given me confidence to just in more things that have happened since then, weekends that you're gone or whatever. It's been a sweet gift from the Lord that I was able to gain some confidence on the home front. So I'm grateful for that out of this whole thing, because I would never have chosen it or picked a week like, okay, Philip, you're going to go away for a week so I can learn how to parent on my own. Ideally, I won't have to do that much. But now I know I can. And I know what kind of help to ask for and what to plan for. The prayer times that we had as wives and the prayer times I had by myself over you guys was a lot more concentrated. And it was nice to have a target prayer point. One of the prayers was that no one would get hurt, but God knows beyond why that prayer wasn't answered. But you guys did finish what you needed to well. So I'm proud of you for doing a hard thing.
Thanks.
This was a very hard thing.
It was. Big task.
You've now got your own Bush Week story.
Oh, do we? Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So, the next podcast might happen hopefully will happen a lot sooner chronologically than the gap you guys have had.
Yeah, but this one's like extra long,
That's
so
true.
we're making
and I will
up
be
for
editing
it.
in other audio clips and all sorts of stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, bonus material this time around.
Yep.
Worth the wait, I hope.
Yes. Yeah. So we will have an update coming soon. One of those updates will be something regarding a future assignment of ours. So stay tuned. Exciting things are happening.
Dun dun dun.
Goodbye.